After the Dragon Ball games battle hour of 2026, I think we need to have a serious discussion about the future of Dragon Ball games. Or at least, I'm so excited that I can't help but join in on the discussion of it. Since if you thought the hype for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and other games is over, think again. I think we're officially in the second golden age of Dragon Ball gaming, with Xenoverse 2's long-awaited send-off truly coming into form. A lot of well-earned collaborations, as well as even some extra love for Dragon Ball FighterZ, even if it's not done by Arc System Works. And of course with Age 1000, aka Xenoverse 3 officially confirmed at Battle Hour, and the absolute monster of a Sparking DLC pack coming this summer. The future of this franchise gaming-wise is looking terrifyingly good, or at least full of hidden potential. I say this for a few reasons, but I actually think that Sparking Zero, and to an extent Xenoverse 2, represent this in the best ways, as I believe that Bandai might be finally monetizing and capitalizing on the Tenkaichi/Sparking series love correctly, as Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was the gold standard of anime arena fighting gaming for nearly 20 years, becoming a pretty hard and expensive game to get secondhand, and as a result of that and how beloved it is, a really heavily emulated and modded for game, meaning the fanbase has always been really passionate for that entire 2 decades, even when the original hardware they were played on fell out of vogue multiple times, and when multiple other modern series and even Dragon Ball games had tried to carry that torch forward. That's why I have a lot more tentative hope for the modern day successor now, since if they're not going to just abandon the game for a $100 Sparking Zero 1.5 version or something like that, if what they're planning on doing is instead giving us waves of DLC to keep the game relevant through the unadapted manga arcs as they become animated, then what we would now have is a kind of specialized ecosystem of Dragon Ball gaming, and in my opinion that would make the franchise so much healthier than it's ever really been. For a while there, Dragon Ball games were kinda in their own survival mode. Before Sparking Zero brought back the true to form genre-defining arena fighter, games like Xenoverse 2 and Dokkan Battle were kinda carrying the weight of the entire multiverse or the franchise on their shoulders just because they had to be everything at once, and now all the games can kinda have their own job. But for a while there, they had to be everything. The biggest official playable sand and toy box in the franchise, the self-insert simulator, the lore keepers for what-if scenarios, and simultaneously a way to experience the actual original story of Dragon Ball, but in a newer and somewhat more cinematic modern format for the gaming. That's why Xenoverse 2 and the live service mobile games like Dokkan and Legends were really the only things we had to scratch every itch at that time. And because everything had to be everything, it meant that certain series couldn't focus completely on what they could do best. That's why I think this specialization might be the best thing to happen to the franchise in a long while. You've certainly had a variety of Dragon Ball gaming for a long time, but having them all happening simultaneously is really something we're only getting to experience now. So that means Xenoverse 3 or Project Age 1000 can now focus pretty much entirely on being as best an immersive MMORPG/self-insert journey through the Dragon Ball franchise that it can be. It doesn't need to be a competitive fighter or be a massive sandbox that has every Dragon Ball character in the franchise in it, though people are still going to want it to have those aspects for sure, and it certainly shouldn't shy away from trying to include those features. But I think it's a lot better for that series to be able to just focus on being the definitive exploration of the Time Patrol and fan creations, rather than making sure it takes up space and time for every flavor of Frieza Soldier or Cyberman or Cell Jr. that possibly exists in the multiverse. On the other hand, you've got stuff like Kakarot, which overall has done a good job of picking up the torch of the Legacy of Goku games, and can now stay as just a high-fidelity single-player action RPG for those who want the classic story of Dragon Ball, but to experience it in as cinematic a version as possible. While FighterZ holds the line for the FGC and pure competitive play, it is still fundamentally a game where you can pick up the canonically weakest character on the roster and defeat the strongest character on the roster canonically, as long as you put the lab time in. And that means that Sparking Zero, especially confirming the existence of something like the Super Limit Breaking Neo DLC, can now once again focus on what it is best at. While it should definitely be competitive and have representations of what-ifery, this is the true Dragon Ball simulator in my opinion. It has one major job: have the biggest, baddest, best roster possible, and the most destructive environments, and the best mechanical feel of the anime. Getting lost and playing your heart out on the loop of this series should be as seamless as binging a ton of the show or the manga, requiring both an extreme amount of variety for the gameplay and presentation. This section I'm about to get in concerning future content and characters we might be seeing in Dragon Ball games will mostly be focused on Sparking Zero, but the concepts for new characters will probably apply to a lot of Dragon Ball games going forward. For example, something I want to say off the jump is that I do hope they will give us new episode battles at some point, and also unlock unlockable what if characters in Sparking Zero, since if some what if characters become more notable from being from Sparking Zero, they could be collabed to other games. Super Saiyan Bardock being among the 30 characters who's going to be added in the Neo DLC does though give me some more hope for what if that might be able to take place in the game, especially since we're also getting a lot more custom moves and stuff like that, which gives me hope that might happen again in the future. In terms of other content, I definitely think the game should do more raid bosses, add more tournament scenes, it should essentially never stop releasing maps, and I think some other ways to engage in competitive battles or ranked battles would be fun, like maybe a category or saga battle or something like that, where players could pick different specific themed teams and then get some kind of bonus for using that team as just another way to incentivize diversity while playing online. You know, maybe your Saiyan Saga team gets a defensive buff or something like that. I'm also hoping that the custom battle mode will continue to get quality of life updates over this lifespan of the game, just because it is arguably one of the most replayable features included in the entire thing, and just one of the most creative ideas in games in the franchise, really. That's why I think it definitely needs to be combined with a more refurbished and elaborated episode battle that kind of branches out and has more characters with the ability to unlock different what if versions of characters that stay on the roster. So it's not just a retelling of the Z story anymore and becomes more of a big playground for the what if scene that's been kept alive by creators and modders for years. That's also still in its lane of being the big toy box. Though aside from new content, Sparking Zero is also definitely going to need new characters, and probably versions of new characters that aren't going to be in other games, or at least not a ton of them in other games, to therefore maintain that claim to the biggest toy/sandbox title. Like looking past the Neo update, which again gave us a whole 30 plus characters, and that is massive and I do not want to discount that, but we do need to still talk about the future. As we know for now at least, the Galactic Prisoner saga is coming. This means we need Moro, obviously. He's the main villain of the saga, the big bad. If you wanted to do any kind of storytelling from the saga, you would need at least him in the game. And there is also a valid argument to be made that most slots in DLC would be used for him, just because some people would argue that we need his evolutions. We need Old Moro, Prime Moro, Moro 7-3, and even though it would probably look really weird and probably should just be like part of an ultimate attack or something like that, Moro fused with the planet is something I think should be depicted in the game. That said, to make him more distinct, developers should probably lean into amping his abilities in some different ways. Imagine like a mechanic where Moro can buff his teammates when he tags out, though only after he has stole the key or like absorbed the blast of an enemy, kind of incentivizing you to run him as an anchor for a team of prisoners or weaker fighters. Like a really solid mix of the energy absorbing android, Cell, Majin Buu, and like all that good stuff. Since now that the game has so many characters who cost more than that above Super Saiyan 3 level, making them all feel very distinct and varied is probably going to become way more important as we go on. And that was one of the major unique points of Moro's arc. Aside from the big bad boss of the arc though, I think some other key characters we definitely need. Mirus, he's at the top of the list. He's inarguably one of the most major characters of the saga, and when adapted into animation, I can only imagine he's going to seem a lot cooler by the time the Galactic Prisoner saga has finished airing than he was even on the page, with even more cool moments that were shown in the manga across stuff like Dokkan and Legends. I could see Mirus being a sole character probably all on his own, with maybe a skill that references his true origins and power. I also think it would be really cool if he came with an alternative outfit, considering what's revealed about him by the end of the arc, and because he could have some really fun interactions with Whis, Beerus, and Champa since they're still some of our only Realm of Gods characters. While on the topic of Galactic Patrol with Mirus, while we're getting Jaco as a part of the Neo DLC, I think maybe throwing him specifically a new ultimate skill during the presumably far in the future Galactic Prisoner Saga DLC would be cool, since you could do something like having a bunch of members of the Galactic Patrol help out for an attack, like something solely cinematic attack cameos we see on characters like Pan and Pansy have. That said, if the devs didn't want to do that, they could essentially give us a good version of Frieza Soldier or Cyberman with a couple of different looks, so that along with Mirus and Jaco, you can build Galactic Patrol teams. At the exact same time, I could see that not being so desirable for paid DLC characters, so I understand it not happening at all, or possibly just being a free update kind of thing if it did happen. I also think, above all else, even if it is a very minor change visually, we do need Galactic Patrol outfit versions and maybe updated skills you can place on the Z Fighters for this arc. Like outside of Gohan and Piccolo, who do actually debut a team attack in this arc as well, mind you, the versions of the Z Fighters wearing these goofy little symbols are some of the explicitly most most modern and strongest versions of like the Earthling Z fighters we've seen to date. These don't need to be brand new characters with new slots, but I think just throwing Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, and Chaozu a new move they can turn on and off at the very least would do a lot to further incentivize more diverse selections of such a vast roster from players, but it will also just be something I feel fans of those characters would probably be very excited by. It's certainly not a new version of Gogeta or Vegito, but I do think that could sell to some Dragon Ball fans. Not to mention, it's highly likely that their feats during the manga version of the arc will be expanded on with sick-ass animations and effects here, so I really hope they don't waste that opportunity. Speaking of, if you want to further justify low-tier fighters in a DLC pack, lean into Moro's army. You could even release a third Frieza soldier skin that's Cranberry, and then if you want to get really cool with it, maybe do a version that's Cranberry as he appears in the Moro saga. And I say that because I don't know if they'd actually do it, because it's very graphic, but if Moro had some kind of move where he could sack off or backstab one of his teammates to get stronger, you could probably reference his betrayals of his army throughout the saga as well, which is again one of the things that makes him a very unique villain. Aside from Cranberry though, if he's a no-go, which is fair honestly, I think you should at least do Sagenbao and OG73, especially since he's useful for the arc afterwards for a fun idea I have. Sagenbao or Sogenbao, where I haven't actually heard his name pronounced yet, is one of Moro's main guys, as well as the major use of Moro's amping ability on one of his soldiers. So if you go the cinematic cameo route, you could have just about the whole army show up if that's the way you want to do it, without just forcing the developers to make a bunch of escaped Galactic Prisoner generic characters with a couple different skins. While 7-3 could be an extremely fun and unique character considering his gimmick, or he could be built to just directly reference the arc as it happened, since you could give him cameo characters as well if you didn't want to take up a slot with either Shimoreka or Yumba. Either way would certainly be fine, as again, this would be one of the first playable instances of this character. It doesn't have to be that ambitious, though I would certainly prefer the latter. Like, I really wouldn't mind Shimoreka or Yumba, but I do think the idea of 7-3 being able to copy the skills of other fighters being really cool in-game. Kinda like a version of Captain Ginyu, but he's a lot harder to counterplay. Or maybe if you used any slots for Galactic Prisoner escapees, have them be used by the ones we got names for, since this would also better justify trying to squeeze in Miza, Iwaza, and Kikaza, or at least their fused form, rather than forcing them all to just be cameo characters as well. Then you just drop a Yardratian outfit for Super Vegeta, and maybe a new equipable move for him, alongside hopefully a playable Planet Yardrat map. And with that, you're honestly pretty gold with representing that entire portion of the saga. Alongside that, I would also genuinely consider the possibility of a Grand Supreme Kai skin for Majin Buu, as well as maybe an attachable skill for him, since he ends up doing some really cool and interesting stuff during the arc, and I'm hoping to see it expanded on in animation, especially since the Neo DLC is giving us End of ZU, so I feel you could also give the two of them a shared ultimate of some kind and get a lot out of it. Then Galactic Patrol symbol Gi for all Gokus would be extremely preferable rather than it just being on his UI sign or MUI Goku states, but if they go that route I will kinda get it. That said, you definitely need to either release a new equipable skill to UI Goku to reference some of his moves in the arc, or better yet, do all that and add what would probably be the coolest giant character in the series, as that's the route that the fan scene did with Budokai Tenkaichi 4. All of that would cover the Moro saga as best as possible, so I personally don't think it would be that extensive, but if the developers are able to give us even a fraction of those characters with fun new content to experience the arc as a player rather than just a viewer, then I do think the Galactic Prisoner saga and all the characters from it will be very successful in sparking Zero and really any other game that tries to adapt it, since I say we have enough to justify a Moro focused update like the Neo update if it was planned and executed very well. Next of course would come the Granola the Survivor arc, which has not been confirmed to happen yet, but considering how Moro ends, it's still pretty inevitable that this arc will be adapted someday, and thus its characters and content are also pretty inevitable for this new golden age of Dragon Ball gaming. This would likely be a much skinnier but high impact roster of DLC characters, since the Granola saga is just a more intimate arc of Dragon Ball than we're usually used to, so I think it would need to lean a lot more on once again furthering out the new game modes or expanding older ones. Like how I mentioned there's something cool you could do with 7-3 earlier, maybe adding a new form of survival mode that mirrors and simulates Granola storming the ship of the Android's creator where he faced off against a ton of identical OG units. You could also justify a new map or maybe like a larger interior ship map that could then be destroyed and transitioned into maybe one of the larger atmosphere maps just being added to the game now. I actually think they're called Stratosphere now that I think about it. So we're obviously going to need Granola. He's a very anticipated character, especially for me as someone who uses him in What Ifs a lot, possibly with either a much stronger second version of the character alongside an initial one or a transformation, I think. Something high on my wish list for him though is a skin for his long-haired form and an equipable oatmeal, since I feel those are pretty drastically necessary just telling stories about the character. Of course, we would also need to add what is probably for me the most anticipated character in the franchise across all its games, with something Vegeta gets in the arc, as the modding scene has already made quite a few passable attempts at making making their own version of it. And for anyone who likes to play this game and grab a friend and one of them use Goku, one of them use Vegeta, and keep going until they have used all their highest forms, it's something that's been needed for a very long time to even complete that. I do, however, think you should also make a major point to give that new form of Vegeta and UI Goku some new lines, which should definitely be done for all these new additions when they meet interesting opponents as the game has been going on and doing from the start, but definitely for these two characters. And you could also probably justify an equipable skill for Bardock, or maybe even a skin for him wearing his cloak. We're also definitely going to need gas. I would argue all of his forms, his young form, his adult form, his unleashed form, they'll probably just do that for his younger form, and then his final form, and of course, probably do his zombie form too. Though they could make that a part of a skill, or maybe a Chaozu style ultimate skill. Either way, I just hope they really all end up as pretty interesting characters, since like with Granola, I believe there is a chance to make a really cool and unique character out of them. You could maybe justify making Oil and Maki as playable or maybe cameo characters, since they do shortly fight Granola, but I'm kind of expecting that they might just have lines in games and won't really be shown in most games outside of maybe like Dokkan or Legends or something like that alongside Alec. Though again, I'd rather that not be the case. Of course, the second most anticipated character for me here in Sparking Zero would be something that Frieza gets in the arc, and I'm mostly curious to see if they would have it be a character slot all to itself or just add a new transformation to Super Frieza. They also definitely need to add a Planet Serial map, but I would also like to see some new game modes if the RPG mode doesn't have some mechanics like them, or something implemented into the RPG mode that simulates the instant transmission chase from the arc, and maybe a special mode for the battle with zombie gas that makes it go like the arc does. And this is also why I think this section of DLC for Sparking Zero, if we do indeed make it that far, will need to add more episode battles, giving us more what ifs and chances to play through what will at the time be all new arcs to Dragon Ball fans who really only watch the anime and movies. Once that's done though, they'll pretty much have adapted all the characters from the upcoming content, and will really only have missing Dragon Ball characters off general purposes that other games have, like the Pilaf gang / machines, Chi-Chi and Bulma, that kind of stuff. But I think the longevity of these games and this renaissance for the Dragon Ball gaming, space is going to be very focused on synergy. Stuff like collaborations in the mod scene and just having a long lifespan. Like I hope Sparking Zero and other games will collab more with Xenoverse and Legends. We need Android 21, who is a glaring omission still in my opinion, Shallot with all his forms, and Giblet and maybe even their fuse form. I think many of the Xenoverse characters should get cameos in Sparking Zero. Toa, Mira, they could even add Not You Vegeta and whatever new form Goku will get by the time Xenoverse 2 is ended. I would also say a Timebreaker Bardock outfit, but I do believe that entire Masked Saiyan look for him has kinda gotten sour for quite a bunch of fans, so maybe not. We definitely need John and Jane 1000 though, and honestly, I can see a really strong argument to add Supreme Kai of Time, Xeno Trunks with his different forms, and maybe the signature CACs from Xenoverse 1 and 2 and Ace in the future warrior of Toki Toki City. Since in my eyes, Xenoverse is probably now as major a part of the franchise as the Sparking series ever was. Xenoverse 1 was for a lot of fans' first ever Dragon Ball game, the same way that Budokai 1 was my first one when I played it on my cousin's GameCube more than 20 years ago now. The fan and mod scene are only going to get crazier from here, and they were already pretty creative and insane. Like, Sparking Zero was already effectively seen as the true successor to Jump Force through its mods, but now as more official assets drop for these manga characters, the modders will hopefully create even more insane what-if projects that will keep this game alive as long as Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was kept alive, if not way longer. So in conclusion to my yapping, I think we're in a really good spot right now, mostly because of specialization, where the anime is about to be, and the fact that Sparking Zero exists as it currently does, and the freedom I think that will infer on other games in the franchise. Since if Bandai plays this right, Sparking Zero itself will turn into a decade-long ecosystem and platform just like Xenoverse 2 was, something capable of spawning a lot more than just people playing a game, and thus freeing the other games in the franchise to try to do the same thing but with different flavors. And as we continue to cope with the loss of Akira Toriyama, as the Dragon Ball Super manga finally comes off hiatus, and as the last unadapted arcs finally get animated, we are looking at a constant stream of hype that carries us beyond the end of Z. So the question really becomes, just how excited are you, and how far beyond the limits do you think they'll go? I've been your friendly neighborhood plus Ultraman, rambling at you for a little while, and if you enjoyed hearing me talk and keep you company while you did whatever you did, please consider engaging with the video, like leaving a comment, hyping it. None of it costs you a dime, but it's a big help to the channel, kind of like tipping a bus driver. And this wasn't my usual style of scripted what if content, but if you look on the end screen now, YouTube's suggesting something that they think you'll love. So let me know how that goes. Be sure to take care of yourselves and the world around you, always go beyond plus ultra, and I'll catch you guys next time.